Greetings everyone, my name is Greg. In this video I am going to talk about the hoax that is man-made climate change. This is a part 2 to the video I did yesterday on why man-made climate change is bullshit. And I'm doing this because of a comment that I got, and I want you to be able to read this as well as possible, where this person, Gary Sorella, claims human-based greenhouse gases cause global warming. The scientific consensus has always been global warming, even during the 70s. That is a flat-out lie. But first, before I get to that, I do want to show you the inconvenient truth bullshit of Al Gore. Now, there are plenty of videos that were done on YouTube debunking Al Gore's An Inconvenient Truth and pointing out the errors that he made in that movie. The thing is, one of the reason I bring up this website, and this will be in the description bar below as well, along with all the others, is where it says Al Gore is certainly the most vilified proponent of climate change anywhere in the world. The thing is, Al Gore, for those that do not know, is the husband of Tipper Gore. And when he was running for president, he pretty much told his wife to shut the fuck up because she had hurt his political career back earlier when she was running her mouth about the PMRC. It was a group, the Parent Music Research Center, where Tipper Gore was a co-founder because of the song Fuck Like a Beast by Wasp. And it was during 1985. And it caused a major backlash with heavy metal fans, of which I am one. The thing is, this is one reason why when Al Gore was running for president, I was one of them that were vehemently opposed to Al Gore. Not so much because of Al Gore, but because of his wife, Tipper Gore, and her desire to try and stop free speech. The attack on heavy metal, which turned later to the attack on rap, it is basically the same. It is an attack on the freedom of speech. And this is something you see characteristically with Democrats, is they will attack your constitutional rights because they don't want you to have the rights like freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, and so forth. The thing is, there is the idea that there is a global consensus on global warming. One of the things I'll have this, like I said, a bunch of things in the description bar below. Science achieves a consensus when scientists stop arguing. The problem with this idea of climate change, the idea that humans are causing it, is absurd on the highest notion. And it brings back to my issue that I raised yesterday. Nobody mentions hemp, the legalization of hemp, how this would dramatically, it would be a game changer. It would completely change everything. And I want to point out this person that made this comment back at this time, during the 1970s and so forth. That was when, I think even before that was when the attack on hemp was going on. But if that was actually a concern, which it wasn't, and I will prove that in this, the thing is, the solution has always been legalize hemp. Again, this is not talking about marijuana. Marijuana is the cousin of hemp. They come from the same cannabis plant, but they are different plants. This is where, if you're too stupid to get it, you're probably a pothead. I have zero interest in pot. I have all the interest in the world in legalizing hemp because there are so many uses for hemp. The thing is, I'm going to hammer, this video is entirely about the claims that there is a consensus on global warming that this person is making. Check this out.
In 1977, the worst winter in a century struck the United States. Arctic cold gripped the Midwest for weeks on end. Great blizzards paralyzed cities of the Northeast. One desperate night in Buffalo, 8 people froze to death in marooned cars. Pat Bushnell was on the road that night.
Traffic just absolutely stopped. I was afraid of being stuck in the car all night long with the cold and the wind, running out of gas. And then what? I think that if we had to go through a real bad winter, just like we just went through, I think we'd have to think about moving someplace else.
Move where? The brutal Buffalo winter might become common all over the United States. Climate experts believe the next ice age is on its way. According to recent evidence, it could come sooner than anyone had expected. At weather stations in the far north, temperatures have been dropping for 30 years. Seacoasts, long free of summer ice, are now blocked year-round. According to some climatologists, within a lifetime, we might be living in the next ice age.
That is a completely different picture than what he is trying to sell here. And I want to hammer on that. And the term global warming was first used in 1975. Bullshit. I have another website that I had linked to him where it says 1970's global cooling alarmism. And there is that picture from Time. But there are multiple pictures. And yes, that's where I got this video. Or that's where I found this video that I just played for you. But this website, which will be linked in the description bar below. Now, some of these I checked, and they appear to be dead for whatever reason. But there are many that do work. The thing is, there are from 1975, and all of these, not one is about global warming. All of these are about the coming ice age, global cooling, the climate changes, chilling possibilities. 1975. Oh, that's where I have ominous changes in the world's weather. This is one of them that I had clicked on. There is 1972, September 11th. Yeah, irony there. Scientists predict a new ice age. This is the Earth doomed to live through another ice age? That is this article. And that was from March 3rd, 1975. And he had claimed the term global warming was first used in 1975. Bullshit. That is disproven right here with the May 3rd, 1975. The concern was an ice age, not global warming. But like I said, those will be in the description bar below with, because all of them are on this, them and many more, because it goes through the entire decade. And the person that created this list had said this is not, in a sense, a complete list, but this is not comprehensive, since not all media publications from the time period are available in digital form. The thing is, this idea of man-made climate change is the biggest hoax of all. But there are so many ways it can be disproven, especially the idea that we're the cause. But there is also this from August 2012 to August 2013, more ice equals global cooling. 1 + 1 = 2, believe your eyes. That's one of the pictures that I had found. There's also 1970's, we're so screwed. How to survive the coming ice age. Time, April 8th, 1977. Where was this global cooling that he talked about? Time, 1973, the big freeze. Time, 1979, the cooling of America. Over and over, what we see and what you will definitely notice is back in the 70's, it was global cooling. It was the next ice age. It wasn't global warming, despite the lies that this person wanted to try and tell. But there is one more thing that I want to play to wrap this up, because he can say it far better than I can, and that is George Carlin.
See, I'm not one of these people who's worried about everything. You got these people around you, the country's full of them now. People walking around all day long, worried about everything. Worried about the air, worried about the water, worried about the soil. Worried about pesticides, insecticides, food additives, carcinogens, worried about radon gas, worried about asbestos. Worried about saving endangered species. Let me tell you about endangered species, all right? Saving endangered species is just one more arrogant attempt by humans to control nature. It is arrogant meddling. It's what got us in trouble in the first place. Doesn't anybody understand that? Interfering with nature. Over 90%, way over 90% of all the species that have ever lived on this planet, are gone. Whoosh. They're extinct. We didn't kill them all. They just disappeared. That's what nature does. They disappear these days at the rate of 25 a day, regardless of our behavior, I mean. Irrespective of how we act on this planet, 25 species that were here today will be gone tomorrow. Let them go gracefully. Leave nature alone. Haven't we done enough? We're so self-important. So self-important. Everybody's gonna save something now. I'll save the trees, save the bees, save the whales, save those snails. And the greatest arrogance of all, save the planet. What? Are these fucking people kidding me? Save the planet? We don't know how to take care of ourselves yet. We haven't learned how to help one another. We're gonna save the fucking planet? I am getting tired of that shit. I'm tired of fucking Earth Day. I'm tired of these fucking self-righteous environmentalists. I'm tired of these white, liberal, bourgeois, liberal, white people who think the only thing wrong with this planet is there aren't enough bicycle paths. Trying to make the world safe and clean for their Volvos. And I'm really sick of these rock stars and movie stars gonna work off their cocaine guilt by saving a forest somewhere. Besides, There's nothing besides first of all, the environmentalists don't give a shit about the planet. They don't care about the planet. Not in the abstract, they don't. You know what they're interested in? A clean place to live. Their own habitat. They're worried that someday in the future they might be personally inconvenienced. Narrow, unenlightened self-interest doesn't impress me. Besides, there's nothing wrong with the planet. The planet is fine. The people are fucked. The people are fucked. Compared to the people, the planet is doing great. The planet has been here for 4.5 billion years, all right? 4.5 billion. We've been here, what, 100,000? Maybe. 200,000? Maybe. And we've only been engaged in heavy industry for a little over 200 years. 200 years versus 4.5 billion. And we have the conceit to think that somehow we're a threat? That somehow we're going to put in jeopardy this beautiful little blue-green ball that's just afloat around the sun? The planet has been through a lot worse than us for a long time. Been through earthquakes, volcanoes, plate tectonics, continental drift, solar flares, sunspots, magnetic storms, the magnetic reversal of the poles, bombardments for hundreds of thousands of years by comets and asteroids and meteors, sandstorms, erosion of all kinds, cosmic radiation, worldwide fires, worldwide floods, recurring ice ages, and we think some aluminum cans and some plastic bags are going to make a difference? Planet isn't going anywhere. We are. We're going away. We're going away. Pack your shit, folks. We're going away. And we won't leave much of a trace either. Thank God for that. Maybe a little styrofoam. Maybe a little styrofoam. Planet will be here and we'll be long gone. Just another failed mutation. Just another closed-end biological mistake. An evolutionary cul-de-sac. Planet will shake us off like a bad case of fleas. A surface nuisance. You want to know how the planet's doing? Ask those people in Pompeii who are frozen into position from volcanic ash. How the planet's doing. Want to know if the planet's all right? Ask the people in Mexico City or Armenia or 100 other places buried under thousands of tons of earthquake rubble if they feel like a real threat to the planet this week. How about the people in Kilauea, Hawaii, who build their homes right next to an active volcano and then wonder why they have lava in the living room? Planet is going to be here a long, long, long time after we're gone, and it will heal itself, it will cleanse itself, because that's what it does. It's a self-correcting system. The air and the water will recover, the earth will be renewed, and say, if it's true that plastic doesn't degrade, well, the planet will simply incorporate plastic into a new paradigm, the Earth plus plastic. The planet doesn't share our prejudice towards plastic. Plastic came out of the Earth. The Earth probably sees plastic as just another one of its children. Could be the only reason the Earth allowed us to be spawned from it in the first place. It wanted plastic for itself. Didn't know how to make it. Needed us. Could be the answer to our age-old philosophical question, why are we here? Plastic. Assholes. So, the plastic is here, our job is done, we can be phased out now, and I think that's really started already, don't you? I mean, to be fair, the planet probably sees us as a mild threat, something to be dealt with, and I'm sure the planet will defend itself in the manner of a large organism, like a beehive or an ant colony can muster a defense. I'm sure the planet will think of something. What would you do if you were the planet trying to defend against this pesky, troublesome species? Let's see, what might, viruses. Viruses might be good. They seem vulnerable to viruses. And viruses are tricky, always mutating and forming new strains whenever a vaccine is developed. Perhaps this first virus could be one that compromises the immune system of these creatures. Perhaps a human immunodeficiency virus, making them vulnerable to all sorts of other diseases and infections that might come along. And maybe it could be spread sexually, making them a little reluctant to engage in the act of reproduction. Well, that's a poetic note. And it's a start. And I can dream, can't I? I don't worry about the little things. Bees, trees, whales, snails. I think we're part of a greater wisdom than we will ever understand. A higher order. Call it what you want. You know what I call it? The big electron. The big electron. Whoa. Whoa. cool. It doesn't punish, it doesn't reward, it doesn't even judge. It just is. And so are we, for a little while. Thanks for being here with me for a little while tonight.
And that really nails just how absurd this whole climate change notion is. George Carlin did that back during the AIDS scare, which I remember very well because I was an adult at that time. The thing is, what we didn't have when I was growing up until Al Gore, was the idea of global warming. What we had was the idea of the next ice age. But even that wasn't something that people, at least that I knew, that were all that concerned about it. Not like you have with people and this climate change bullshit. The thing is, what we have is we have a bunch of people that are wanting to buy into a socialist type of mandate. And I see that as what is the most dangerous behind this. Which is why when I was picking the images for this video, I came across this hammer and sickle for climate change, and it seems fitting because socialism does directly lead into communism. Which, that is what I would call these people, not socialists, but communists. Because that's what, especially the left, is interested in. They're not interested in having a discussion about anything. They want to have everything one-sided. That all there is, like I mentioned in a video I did yesterday, that where they clearly had said that even letting the other side at the table is making a concession, which is absolute horseshit. That proves these leftists, and I would assume that this Gary jackass is a leftist, what they're interested in is not a democracy. What they're interested in is communism. They're interested in one side, one narrative, and that's all. That there is no other narrative that is put forward. There is only one thing that is being fed to people, and that is what is the approved bullshit from the communist regime. That is what these people are about. I am a patriot. I am about freedom. And I am a skeptic when it comes to all things, especially something as obvious bullshit as climate change. Because like I had said, not one of these jackasses mentions the legalization of hemp. And that to me shows they don't give a fuck about the planet. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. Talk to you later, people.